Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing out there? It's been a little while since I've done a video, but I've been really working hard down here in the mental gym and getting prepared. 2017, doing some really exciting things. I'm here now to give you guys a little bit of an update as to what we've been doing and kind of tell you what we're looking to do going forward in 2017. One of the new concepts we're going to give it a shot, is doing a mental conditioning Monday, where each Monday I'm going to try to come out with a new message for you guys. That kind of gives me a little bit more structure to do the message rather than just, not really having structure about it. So I'm going to try to do it a little bit more with a structure. I'll try to do it on Mondays, and even if I get something during the week, I guess I'll hold it till Monday unless it gets too powerful and I can't hold it, then I'll put it up either way. But that's the goal, and I want to try to do a little bit more, maybe some more messaging with some more posts during the week. But I'm going to try to do mental conditioning Mondays, where I deliver a brief message, video message to you guys. We've been going forward so far this year. Each year I try to have a different concept of a theme for my mental condition and movement. This year we started it off, and actually it's pretty exciting. We started it off this past Saturday. I had my first workshop of the year, and it was mental conditioning. What we're going to be doing for 2017, which is a mental conditioning family series, and we talked about parenting, which was pretty exciting. And I guess that kind of leads me to my mental conditioning Monday message. Each time I do these workshops and I do these seminars, as I'm down here now, I'm getting ready to do some writing, I actually learn things each and every time I do different workshops. That's probably one of the more exciting things about doing this, the process of keep going through different topics. And each time I go through different topics, it actually teaches me more about mental conditioning, which is very exciting. Some topics are more powerful than others, and I really enjoy doing the more powerful topics because it teaches me things, because I'm able to plug in the situation that we're talking about into the whole mental conditioning message, the mental conditioning movement. And as I wrote the parenting workshop, and then when I started to perform it, I'm getting to the point now where I really enjoy doing the seminars. I spoke to you guys a lot about it's not easy for me to do these seminars, and just the person that I am, it's not easy for me to talk in front of people, but through my mental conditioning, which is great, I'm able to become more comfortable and start really getting a sense of enjoying getting in front of people and delivering the message that I've been given to deliver to everybody. So I enjoy it. I enjoy the excitement. I enjoy the anticipation that people feel as I'm delivering the message, and I kind of feed off of that. One of the things that I learned about the message and doing this, because parenting is such a critical part of our lives, and there's so much pressure. For those of us that are parents, it's very difficult to be a parent, especially in today's society. But it really challenges our mental conditioning. And somebody kind of asked me, and an overall sentence about mental conditioning. Is mental conditioning kind of like a positive thinking? Is it just based on being positive thinking? And I said, no. Mental conditioning is not really positive thinking. It's not negative thinking. But what it is mental conditioning is reality-based thinking. And that's something that is extremely difficult for us. As we navigate through our lives, it's not a reflex. It's not an automatic reflex to deal with reality. When things enter our ears and go to our minds, the reflex a lot of times is just to make things easier for us, whether that's the reality or not. That is where the mental conditioning comes in, that you have to train your mind to go against that natural reflex. It's just like touching something hot. Obviously, the natural reflex is to just, reflect back. When you're training your mind to deal with realities, it's hard. I give you a good example of that. Is a lot of times, when we're having conversations with our friends and our family members, and they share things with us that's going on in their lives, and a lot of times we want to help them. We We want to help, people that share things with us that they're dealing with in their lives, and we want to give advice. Sometimes it's hard because the truth of the matter is that a lot of times people won't necessarily give you the full story, so we think that we're giving them the best possible advice, but sometimes we're not necessarily doing it only because they're not telling us the full story. However, with what they're giving us, more times than not, we're able to actually give very, very, very sound advice. We're able to give very good advice to people who are coming to us with their stories, with their reality. And the reason for that is because we're able to do just that. You can look at their story as they're telling it to you, and you can get the full reality of what they're saying. You can base your decision from that advice that you're giving them. You're basing that solely on the reality. If you turn that around, that same scenario that person is telling you, if you went through it, you probably wouldn't be able to give the same answers to yourself. And you probably would not be able to navigate through that situation the same way that you suggested that friend or family member navigate through the situation. You probably wouldn't be able to do it. You know why? Because most of the time, our minds are mentally reflective to just kind of say, you know what is the easiest possible way for me to process this? Not necessarily the reality of it. So you'll be looking at that situation, and it's clear what the reality is, but when you start assessing it in your mind, it becomes a little bit distorted to make that particular situation just the easiest way to make the decision. So that's where reality-based thinking is very, very, very much a part of, what the mental conditioning movement means. It's totally not easy to accept that. I fall into that trap. As parents, we fall into that trap. In our relationships, a lot of times we fall into that trap. In our careers, we fall into that trap because we have to be honest with ourselves. There was a post one of my friends on Facebook every morning now. So the past week he always puts out a question of the day, and it's pretty cool to kind of get involved in that. And if I can, I give answers to that. And his question this morning was pretty interesting. His question was, what's the key fundamental to being in a committed, intimate relationship? What are you looking for when you are in a committed relationship? And everybody said, the same things. Honesty. We always say the same things. You're looking for honesty. You're looking for commitment. Those are the big things that people talk about. But I realized that from a mental conditioning standpoint, the most important thing when you're going into a relationship is to really know who you are. You have to know who you are. If you don't know who you are, if you're not honest about who you are, the reality of who you are as a person, how is it possible that I can be honest with somebody else? How can I commit to somebody else when I haven't committed to myself to know who I am as a person? So all of that is really reality-based. And we get into trouble in our relationships because a lot of times we're not dealing with the reality of who we are. We may have certain issues. We all do. We all bring baggage to the table because we're human beings. And the longer you live, the more baggage and issues that you have. But if you don't deal with those issues and how it affects you when you try to get into a relationship, and that's not something that you're dealing with, you're not being putting that to the forefront. That's just a reality of who I am as a person. Now you're going to try to connect with somebody, and you're not even being honest. You're not intentionally lying to them, but you're lying to yourself first. So you're not going to be able to commit. It's the same way all across the board. As a parent, we talked about that in the workshop. As a parent, you have to know who you are as a parent. Sometimes those things are based on the reality of your life, the reality of your upbringing. There's certain things that an individual over here may be able to bring to the table because of his upbringing that I can't, or vice versa. But unless you are honest with yourself and that reality of who you are as a person, you're going to struggle as a parent. Same thing, a job situation, again. You may go for a job interview and you kind of got pushed into that situation, but you don't necessarily want that job. You don't necessarily want that career. So I'm not suggesting that you don't go out there and go to the interview and try to get the job to do what you have to do at that particular time. But going forward, is that really what you want your future to be? You have to know the reality of the situation and judge it. Because what happens when you don't do that? You get that job. You get that relationship. You're going through parenting based on false senses. I'm not really that person. but I'm not dealing with the reality of who I really am. So how are you going? You're never going to be happy on that job. You're never going to be happy in that relationship, and you're not going to be the most effective parent that you can possibly be. So that's my message for Mental Conditioning Monday, is just to let everybody know that, the real key, the real nuts and bolts of the mental conditioning movement is really just understand that it's a reality-based type of thing. It's really just being able to peel back the layers of your life like the banana and exposing the actual fruit, and then being able to judge it and do what you have to do with it. It's hard. It's hard to be able to peel back the layers of our lives and really look into who we are as people, but I promise you that when you can do that, that gives you the ability to be able to go out there now and deal with the realities of the world, and deal with the realities of the people that you're going to come in contact with, and the certain situations that you're going to come in contact with. So that's my Mental Conditioning Monday message for today. And like I said, going forward, I'm looking to do that, and I'm looking to do a little bit more posts during the week for you guys. And I'm also, another exciting thing we got coming up, like I said, I did do the parenting workshop for the family mental conditioning family series, and I'm probably going to do on Saturday, I'm going to duplicate the workshop on Facebook Live, but that will be on the Elliot Allen Mental Conditioning Coach handle on Facebook. So I'll give you guys another update on that as far as the time and where that's exactly the time, but it's probably going to be Saturday. I'm going to do the workshop again, Facebook Live. That will be a first for me, so that's going to be exciting for me to be the first time I've ever done that. So I'm looking forward to it. It's a powerful workshop, so I encourage all the parents out there to get on board. When I say parents, it's not just the biological parents. Some of us who have a key catalyst part in a child's life, you are a parent too, even though you may not be biologically that child's parent. If you hold that type of a weight in any youngster's life, I encourage you to come on and kind of listen to what we're talking about in terms of mental conditioning and parenting. And that, again, going into the theme of this year, which is the mental conditioning series, family. So everybody have a good night. I will see you Saturday, and I will see you again for sure Mental Conditioning Monday. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we're working hard in the mental gym. Very, very, very hard. Hope you guys are doing the same thing out there. I'll talk to you guys later.